Hi everyone, welcome to Scrolling In. I'm Arlene.
And I'm Yusra. If you ever open your phone for a quick check and you suddenly found yourself reading about the history of cheese at midnight, you are in a good company.
History of cheese. Alright. Or if you've ever gotten stuck comparing your workout routine to fitness influencers, you're definitely not alone. That's doom scrolling, folks. When you get trapped in the endless scroll of content and you just end up wasting your time.
And it's not just about the scrolling itself. So, guys, the scrolling impact how we connect with others. It's messed with our ability to listen and speak effectively because our brain are overloaded with random information.
But don't worry. Right, Yusra? Today we're going to be breaking down on how doom scrolling creates communication barriers and, more importantly, how to tackle them using effective listening and speaking strategies. We'll share tips from our own experiences, dive into strategies from schema theory, and even play a round of two truths and a lie.
And now, let's get into it. So, let's start with listening. So, Arwin, when is the last time you realized the scrolling affect your ability to truly listen?
Oh, to be honest, just yesterday, I spent like an hour scrolling through cooking videos and then for my family dinner, my mom asked me a question and I had no idea what she just said. My mind was still on a video about souffles.
Oh my goodness, I got that. So, I have this classic example of the difference between hearing and listening, guys. So, hearing is a passive, it's just a sound hitting your ears, but listening require effort. It's about making sense of what being said, responding truthfully.
Exactly, Yusra. Doom scrolling makes listening harder because, well, it creates barriers like preoccupation. Your mind is too busy thinking about something else. When your brain is busy, well, replaying content, you're not fully present in the conversation.
Yes, and another big barrier is content overload. So studies show that our brain can only process so much information at once. But when we are done scrolling, you are flooding your brain with a random facts, trends, debates, leaving no room to engage with the people around you.
Yes, and then there are psychological barriers. Or doom scrolling often stirs up anxiety. Have you ever felt it?
Absolutely. For me, doom scrolling on career tips make me feel like I am falling behind, and that stress spilled into my interaction. And I will be so distracted that I miss what my friends are trying to share with me.
Well, recognizing these barriers is step one. Once you're aware, you can start practicing strategies to overcome them. Let's talk about one of my favorites, active listening.
All right, let's get into active listening. So, Arwin, let me ask you again this question. What is something you have tried to help you listen or be better in listening, especially after doom scrolling?
Oh, all right. After doom scrolling, I've started preparing myself before conversations. So if I know that I've been scrolling, I'll put my phone away and turn it upside down and take a deep breath to clear my mind. It's a small step, but it helps me focus.
Oh, that's a great example of preparing to listen. So, another key technique is making a conscious effort to avoid interrupting. I used to cut people off a lot without realizing it because I was so eager to share my thought. But now, thanks God, I wait for them to finish and then I use reflective listening instead.
Reflective listening. Oh, well, I heard that reflective listening is like powerful. Like when you repeat a phrase or
Mm.
paraphrase what you're going to say. So like so I'm hearing what you're saying and you felt overwhelmed by your schedule. It shows that you're engaged and well, it helps clarify the conversation.
Yeah, it also ties into schema theory too. So, schema theory is about using your existing knowledge to make sense of a new information. And for example, if someone is talking about their new job, you connect it to your own experience with starting something new. Is making conversation more relatable and more meaningful.
Exactly. I recently used this with a friend who's learning to cook and I connected it to my own struggles with baking. I'm not the greatest breaker out there, but it made the conversation flow way better. Asking follow up questions like, what's been the most fun recipe you tried so far, also helps me deepen the connection with my friend.
That's true. And these strategies don't just improve how we listen, guys. These strategies, they make others feel valued. When someone is know you are fully present, it's a strength to the relationship.
Speaking of strengthening connections, Yusra, let's switch gears and talk about speaking strategies. Alright, but first, let's lighten up things with a game.
Alright, it's time for two truths and one lie. Are you ready, guys?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so I will give you my three. One, I took a dancing class. Two, I don't know how to ride a bike. Three, I'm good at driving. So what do you think?
Alright, so these are two truths and one lie.
Yes.
Alright, so one, you took a dancing class. Two, you rode a bicycle. You don't know how to ride a bicycle. Three, and you're
Yes.
good at driving. Two truths and a lie. I'm gonna guess the lie is that you actually do know how to ride a bicycle. Come on.
Oh, actually, so you confirm with the second one. The lie is
Yeah,
I
the
don't know
second
how
one.
to ride a bike. Okay, actually, it's wrong. The lie one is I'm good at driving.
Wait, the lie is that you're not good at driving. Oh wait, no, you are
Yeah.
good at driving. Oh my gosh. I
Yes.
see, I see. Alright, my turn. Two truths and one lie coming right up. One, I have broken a bone. Two, I have made over 100 crafts of multiple franchises. And lastly, I own more than 50 figurines.
Oh
Which
my
one?
goodness. Okay, for me, I will choose the lie is the second one. I have made over 100 crafts of multiple franchise.
You think my lie is that I made over 100 crafts?
Yes.
Why do you think that? Am I not crafty?
You are, but 100 is a lot.
100 is a lot. Alright.
Yeah.
The two truth is one, yes, I have broken a bone. Do you know which bone I broke?
Of course, your arm or
I
finger.
broke my I broke my pelvis.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember you told me that before. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, number two is a truth. I have made over 100 crafts, and they're all in my room.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that was
And
bad.
the lie is no, I don't even own one figurine.
I thought I'm good enough in this game, but it's okay.
And that concludes our little game session. Now, let's talk about how to make our conversations more intentional.
Alright, guys, let's talk about speaking strategies. So, we have this third question for you, Irene. How do you approach conversation differently now, especially after the doom scrolling binge?
Alright, after the doom scrolling binge, I've been working on thinking before I speak. It's just so easy to blurt out what's ever on your mind, but taking a moment to organize your thoughts just makes my message so much more clear.
Oh, that's really a great point. And for me also, I've been practicing positive framing. And instead of saying, "Oh, did you see that awful thing that happened yesterday or recently?" And instead I will ask, what been helping you stay balanced lately? It shifts the conversation tone 100%.
Speaking of tone, intonation is key as well. Using a warm and rising tone when asking questions, like, what's been going on with you, makes the conversation feel much more inviting.
Absolutely. And I have also studied using storytelling. For example, instead of saying, "I'm stressed" or whatever it is, I will share a quick story about what happened and how I'm dealing with it. People connected better through stories.
That is so true. I remember stuff way better when it's spoken in a story. And don't forget balance as well. If someone's venting, I listen, but I also gently redirect the conversation if it gets a little too heavy. Using a fall rise intonation works wonders for this. Like, that's tough. But what about something fun you've done recently?
These small changes in how we speak can make conversation so much more meaningful.
Alright, so what is the big takeaway here? Doom scrolling doesn't just impact us, it also affects our ability to connect. But by practicing active listening, using schema theory, and mindful speaking strategies, we can help rebuild our connections again with the people around us.
Alright, and for the audience, your challenges. Replace 10 minutes of scrolling with a real conversation. Ask a thoughtful questions, share stories, or practice a reflective listening.
And let us know how it goes. Share your experience with us on social media or leave a comment. We'd love to hear how you're scrolling in.
And yes, thank you for turning into Scrolling In. Until next time, stay present, stay curious, and keep this conversation alive.